Hi and welcome back to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀𝗧. My name's Nick and welcome back to another walk and talk. We're going to be talking crypto today, but yeah, we've gone for a little bit different scenery today. I've actually been able to hit the gym for the first time in what probably is 4 to 5 months since I've been able to kind of go. So I'm feeling a little bit sore today and I'm sure I'm going to feel a little bit more sore tomorrow. So we're going to try to keep this one nice and brief and just kind of enjoy a little bit of different scenery here up by the gym. So yeah, let's kind of talk a little bit about cryptocurrency, right? So today's topic is going to be Solana. Solana has been performing incredibly well. I kind of put out a technical analysis video this morning on Solana and yeah, it's looking very, very good. I'm pretty bullish on Solana. Now, the structures that are currently there and mapping out on the smaller timeframes give me a lot of encouragement about where I think Solana could be heading in the future. And we do see some pretty decent potential. Seem to have some crows joining the video today. It has some pretty decent potential to continue growing quite massively. Now, the structures that are appearing are of a trend nature from an Elliott wave theory point of view. Now, obviously, we have the more traditional based structures as well. We can see, you know, we're above the 50 EMA, the 50 SMA, the 200 EMAs and so forth on, you know, not just the smaller timeframes, but also the larger timeframes as well, such as the daily. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. Now, when it comes to a 5-wave structure that we're seeing kind of emerge on the smaller timeframes, we have to be aware that these are a part of a bigger 5-wave structure on a larger time frame. Okay, now what does this mean? Well, it means that we can't continue to just move up naturally, you know, without some kind of pull to the downside or some kind of corrective action, or more specifically, profits getting taken off the table. Okay, so it means that there is going to be a pretty big pullback on Solana. Not yet. I still think we have the ability to push up maybe $75, $80, somewhere in that kind of range, before we start to see this natural pull to the downside. This pull to the downside is going to be one of the biggest opportunities that I think investors are going to have in purchasing up some Solana at a pretty decent rate. We normally typically see at least a 50% reduction in price for what happens after this kind of 5-wave pattern appears. So based on this, we can see some pretty decent growth potential for Solana long term, you know, into the next kind of bullish market. And of course, we can see some pretty decent levels to be thinking about accumulating Solana as well. Now, obviously, there are some concerns that we have around some of the things that maybe are not really being spoken about so much, right? And we're going to talk about VC, so venture capitalists, investors and institutional level investors. They are pretty heavy into Solana, which means that they do end up paying influencers to shill Solana-based content. Okay, so this is kind of what was happening back in 2021, and Chris and myself, we did incredibly well out of our Solana holdings in 2021. We were not greedy, right? Greed was obviously going to be the thing that is going to trick and catch many investors out, thinking that you can just keep going up, 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 and up, and up. We actually sold most of our Solana holdings at $189. We told everybody during 2021's bull market that that's what we were doing. And obviously we got a lot of hatred for that, but turns out in hindsight it was a very wise idea. Could have got more, but ultimately greed can get the better of you. So we did incredibly well. One of the things that really spooked us back in 2021 was the amount of billionaires that had investments in Solana. Now, they've got to bear in mind, these kind of investors, they don't care about the technology. They don't care about, you know, the future of Solana holders, the projects that are building on it. They only care about their return on investment. And so at some point, they are likely to be dumping their tokens on the market, and they are very significant positions. So it did spook us a little bit back in 2021, and that hasn't really changed now either. The only real difference, I guess, really, is that you've got people like FTX going through the liquidation processes, and that's going to basically eke some of the Solana out into the mainstream, and that's going to decentralize it a little bit and kind of make it less centralized in some regards. But again, some of the Solana holdings that FTX hold isn't really accessible until 2025, 2027. And so we're kind of kicking the can down the road a little bit. This isn't necessarily a bad thing right now, because we can see some pretty decent growth in Solana continuing into maybe 2024 and into 2025. But we should be aware that there is going to be an upper limit, because as soon as those tokens are released by or to these institutional level investors and to these billionaires, they are just going to dump it on the market, and they're going to pump Solana, they're going to pay media outlets, they're going to pay influencers to shill the crap out of Solana so that they can maximize their return on investment. Just be aware that this stuff does happen. Now, I think for Solana, generally speaking, I'm very confident in it at the moment. I think we've got a nice pattern, nice structure, and we've got a nice way of kind of mapping out where things are heading. So for now, I don't think we should be too concerned about these things, but it should be something that we should always be very mindful of. We don't want to kind of get ourselves caught out by all of a sudden thinking that, we can only go to the upside. At some point, I think the tides on Solana is going to turn. But for now, I think we can enjoy some pretty decent price appreciation, of which, of course, if you did catch the video that I put out this morning, you'll know that the price target at the moment on the upper side is hovering at around $2,000 per SOL token, which is pretty lucrative return on investment if you are getting into Solana at, let's say, $8, right? So there's some significant growth potential here, specifically under the patterns that are forming. These trend-based 5-wave structures nesting into each other could lead us into a very, very juicy return on investment on Solana. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, but I just wanted to put a brief video out there just to kind of explain why I think Solana is going to do well, but there are some concerns that we should be mindful of and all that wonderful stuff. Let me know what your price prediction is for Solana in the comments down below. And if you have found this useful and informative, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe, and don't forget to join us down in Discord. Link is in the description down below. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.